what type of violations are legally enforceable?
The answer to that question involves a legal answer, and right, and it means those violations that are found in your governing documents to be violations in the first place. Like a lot of times, boards will tell me that, hey, I went after this person because they committed a violation of this or that. I said, okay, show me where it's a violation in your governing documents. And what do you mean? Because we said it's a violation. Not good enough, okay? It has to be in your governing documents to show that this happens all the time, that it's a violation. In order to make rules and regulations, they gotta be reasonably related to the health, the welfare, and the safety of the community. They can't be arbitrary or capricious. That's one thing. They can't just be made up for the sake of making up rules. And the last thing I'll tell you legally is you can't make a rule that is already spoken about for in your superior document, which is your declaration. For example, really quick, suppose your governing documents say everybody is entitled to one pet. But the board says, you know what, we're getting tired of all these pets in the community. We're going to make it a violation to bring in a pet in the first place. No more pets. Can the board do that by making a rule? No, they can't do that. Why? Because the superior document says everybody's allowed one pet. You'd have to amend that. So I know that was a long-winded legal answer, but that's the answer.
The answer is it depends.
Yes. I could have
We
said
could
it
have
depends,
just
I
like
guess.
summarized it.
Right.
But what about now from the property management side? How do you guys do this? Because like there's so many different violations. How do you enforce them? How do you coach people into doing it the right way? Like,
Sure. I think I want to touch up. I want to start with one that is common, right? Where we take on an association and it's a new board, and the board just says, all right, no one has enforced the covenants of the association. No one has followed the rules of the association, and we want to go full-fledged. So what that means is, let me give it for those listeners that maybe are not on the board. So let's say you had in the covenants that all the houses had to be painted the same. I won't touch roofs because there's been some changes, but let's say landscaping needed to look a certain way. Driveways needed to be no more than X. And those weren't followed for years. And all of a sudden, the new board, great intentions, wants to all of a sudden follow these rules. That's where it gets, I think, the most challenging. And the reason is that you have to have a process in order to start to do this. And that process first starts with, contacting the attorney and go, look, this is what we want to do. What potential challenges could we face, and how should we phase this in? So we want to have that opinion, because if anyone comes against the association, well, first challenge you're going to have is, well, this person has that driveway and I have the driveway. They don't know we probably sent the violation to that person as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that occurs a lot in our industry, and it's solvable. It's a process, because there's going to be some things that you may need to let go because it's been years of lack of enforcement. But overall, the violation process in itself, it's pretty simple. I mean, the documents outline what you can send violations for. As Eric stated, you're not permitted to send violations for what are not within those documents. And ultimately, when you send those violations, you're now required to put where it's cited in the document. So what's the actual section of it? From a management perspective of sending it, we use a technology tool that allows us to do it much more efficiently.
That's my question.
Yeah, instead of having the manager figure out, what's this violation, what's the section? What we do is, when we onboard a new community, we put it all into the software. These are the 20, or these are the 10, or these are 100, and we already have them pre-programmed in there. And the manager drives through the community, takes a picture, hits the selection, and hits send, and it sends it out to a printer to automatically send it. And the board has full access to what the manager's doing, what's been sent, who has a violation. It gives them a simple green, red, and yellow color, so they know red means they have a violation. Orange, like a yellow light, means they're disputing it, and green means they're clear of any violations. So we do have a system. We utilize technology a lot to make it simpler, both for our managers as well for the board to be able to see what's going on within the community.
great. I didn't even know you have that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Because you know how it is, Eric, when you get into the architectural, so there's a process that if you send a violation in order to, well, there's two processes. In order to find them, you need to go through a certain process, and I won't go into that because you got to read the documents and so forth. There's a lot of legwork that needs to be done to prepare for that meeting. So by using a tool, what we do is now we have screens, because everyone has screens now, and we just pop it up and say, okay, this homeowner's coming up, and we can see the violation, and it date stamps the picture of the last time that violation was sent. Same thing goes with the architectural process.